Vi, and I'm wondering, she's very good at diving towers to pick up some kills with that ultimate. Who's going to follow up with her? And right now, there's really no one that can do that. So I'm thinking that Lord might go for something that's dive heavy like that, but we'll see how that works out. And then, of course, Vayne, Creatine just... He's strong on any AD carry, but you give him a Vayne, if he can get out of that early laning phase well, then he is just going to demolish the other team.
Well, he was hovering over Swain, which I'm not falling for just yet. On the other side, though, Genja locking in Misfortune, and the Karthus coming down there for Alex Ich.
I think the only thing more scary than Ocelot and Froggen's Karthus is Alex's Karthus. It's just so... It's so deadly. He's always farming, and the thing is, he will always... like make these kills happen with his ultimate. Like they always seem to know, okay, he's about to hit 6, let's be really aggressive, force an ultimate out of him, and then just kill someone. And when he starts getting snowballed on that champion, it's really hard to kind of stop him.
Well, we'll see. Alternate finished off their picks with the Orianna, a champion that we've all seen for Elnlord on multiple times. Pretty much got into the summer split thanks to that Orianna from for Elnlord as well. So see how that one all fits into the team. But like you said, you know, they've got that Vi that can really get in there, you know, do the dirty work under the towers. But Orianna's not quite the one we thought, although, you know,
it works
pair
out.
Vi with the ball and then run the shockwave is another option.
Yeah, that ball delivery system, it's perfect. I mean, it knocks people away with the Vi ultimate, but then you can pull them all together yet again. You can dive into the turret really well with that ball attached to him. So we're going to see how well that works early on, as Vi is a very strong early jungler. And a lot of people forget about how much damage she can possibly do. So I wonder, is Arne going to make anything happen, you know, in the lower levels? Will Diamond be there to kind of counter that, or is Diamond going to be the one to make the plays happen?
Well, lots of questions to be answered in this one. Right now, Alternate sitting in second position at 13-11. They've basically jumped up a spot because Fnatic lost that last game, which gave them then the better win ratio, 54%. On the other side, Gambit, you know, they're 12-12, which means, funnily enough, they're sat down in 6th technically now. They have drawn level for 5th. And a win here can just catapult them straight up the table again.
It's just so weird to imagine that you could be 12-12 and be 6th place.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. That's how close European LCS is, and it's only going to get closer as the days go on, because we still remember have 2 more days of the Super Week, 12 more games to come after today, and the standings can shuffle even more.
Yeah, that's the incredible thing. As you said, 6th place Gambit right now. If they beat Alternate, they go level with them technically, but because they're already 3-0 up, and obviously if they won, they'd be 4-0 in the head-to-head, they go into 2nd position. That's just how close things are. One game can move you from the bottom right up there to the top. So let's get in game then. It is, of course, going to be Gambit versus Alternate here. Jason, take us through level 1. They've got to be dangerous here with that Thresh hook.
I definitely agree with that one. And you don't even need to look at their champions technically to realize that there's probably going to be some action, because both these teams, back in week 2 when both had their full lineups, it was just head-to-head bashing left and right. There was aggression out of both teams, non-stop fighting. And the average first blood time between these two teams against each other is 3 minutes and 29 seconds, which is so much lower than their times overall within the season of the summer split. So you know there's going to be a lot of fighting.
Well, we see there Voidal just having a bit of a peek up towards the top of that ramp on the Alternate jungle. We'll see if he gets in there to get that vision down. Right now, Alternate got that bit of a line defense set up with 3 men on the top side, the AD carrying, not the Sport's on the top side. There's 4 of them up there. If I could actually count, it's just Vayne that's down there at the bottom guarding from that side.
Yeah, I'm curious if Alternate doesn't really want to show where their AD carry support lane is going to go, because Vayne's going to have a decently tough time against Misfortune, who can put out so much damage early on. But it looks like we will have pretty standard lanes right now.
Yeah, pretty standard from this point. Looks like, I mean, it goes without saying that at this stage of the season, that at level 1, you can lose a game. And if you do that now, especially from Gambit's side of things, I'd say, because they have that chance to really catapult above Alternate at this point, but a loss will set them back quite significantly in their whole plans to secure those top 2 spots, which everyone wants for that buy into the playoffs.
Yeah, you look at yesterday's matches with NALCS, Cloud9 versus Vulcan, where Vulcan picked up 3 kills right off the bat. I mean, that was enough to give them such a lead that they could come out with the victory in that game, and it looks like both teams don't want to go for that. They don't want to lose the game just off of a level 1 fight. They want to at least take their chances in a normal game.
So, starts for both teams. Aranea with his Vi on the red. Over the other side, Diamond's Lee Sin starting on the blue side of things. So, that gives you an idea from that one. We are going to be seeing standard lane matchups here with the duos down bottom and the 1v1 up top.
And one thing that Diamond did earlier today versus Mutual Makers, he actually didn't come out of the jungle around level 3. He kept farming up. He backed once he full cleared to buy up his items, and they went back into the jungle yet again. So I'm curious if he's going to do that a second time, And if he does that, will RNA be able to punish him by making some ganks happen? Because look at the ward coverage in the middle. Like, both these mid laners do not want to get ganked at all, but they realize where the action's going to be.
Yeah, you can see it there, 2 down for each side just to cover those exits and entrances from the jungle. So down this bottom lane, again, we have to keep our eyes out because it's Voidal's Hawks that are really going to be making an impact here on this game.
Yeah, and it's not about how many you miss. It's only about that one that you do land that can turn a game around. And right now, Genja's already pretty much showing his dominance in this lane. He's level 2 before Creatine, obviously, who just obviously now hit level 2, but he has a double CS advantage just in the beginning of the game.
Pretty standard farm in there, just getting as much damage as he can, and there is the hook coming in play. Barrier used by Creatine. Jerry took some damage as well, and well, Creatine will live from that one, but he's used both his summoners. We saw the exhaust being used, and look at this, Diamond is coming around the side here. He's going to try and get in there. Couldn't quite get on towards Creatine before he recalled. We also saw Jerry backing completely off from that, so that makes that advantage that Genja had already started to build here with Misfortune that much larger, because Creatine quite simply is going to have time away from lane. He's going to lose farm to the tower.
And just as you mentioned, Voidal with the hook, he comes out big right there.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Creatine, 6 to 19 CS, he's going to miss out on a good chunk of a wave right here, and Diamond's still sticking around. He's not spotted by a ward. They could go for a turret dive if they won.
Well, he kind of walked out, realized that Creatine was in there as well, and they decide in the end not to go for it. Aranea is actually coming down here as well, so they should be able to protect this tower, and it doesn't look like diver will happen anyway. Diamond has already backed off back towards his own jungle. And
Aranea is still sticking around, and that pink ward investment on that Tribush, it kind of didn't work out for him. They weren't really able to make anything happen off of that, but still at least gives them the knowledge of no wards being there. And right now you actually see Alex on the minimap, he went back and took Wolves. Like, he's trying to win just on farm right now, and he's up 30 to 25 currently.
Well, we know Alex Itch to be a prolific farmer, and well, Karthus is really a fantastic farmer, so we'll see how that one all works out for him there. As he said, back for the Wolves. He'll no doubt be taking the Wraith camps whenever he possibly can as well from that. So something we'll keep an eye on there as things go along. Obviously staying well out of range of Aranea and the ball. This top lane, which we've not really seen up till now, very quiet early farm game going on. Kerp having a small advantage.
Yeah, he's been taken advantage of as Aranea is going in on mid lane on Alex. Blows the flash. That's not bad. That means he can come right back around again and maybe pick up a kill this time. And that's all due to these wards going down that they had earlier on in the game.
Yeah, flash burn from Alex. Not wanting to take any risks whatsoever. Creatine did come back into the lane with a health pot, or possibly 2. There is Jerry going to get hooked in, but there comes the move down towards this bottom side. Are they going to be able to get in? It's Kerp that's come down there with that teleport. Voidal going to get locked up here, and that will be first blood to the Vayne. And just as we were talking about how good this bottom lane is going here for Gambit, it's the Vayne that picks up the kill and is right back to level with the farm, ahead even.
That's just ridiculous. Like, the thing is, the teleport came in, they knew it was happening, and yet because of the speed buff on Karma that you get, because of the W able to lock them down and hold them there, they were just able to pretty much catch out Voidal. Not to mention the condemn that happened at Creatine, but right now Dragon's being started, Diamond's gonna try to steal it.
Well, his Q goes over there, but he's not going to be able to steal it. Gets away to the ward, then flashes over the top of the wall. Slippery character is that Lee Sin, but Alternate securing what they came for there, which was the Dragon.
And look at this hefty goal lead they've been able to build up. I mean, 6 minutes in, yeah, but still a nice 1,300 goal lead. They have a kill over to Creatine, who was pretty much hurting so bad in that lane earlier on, as he is catch up in CS as well.
Really nicely done there, nice move, and that will give the Cutlass at the start here for Vayne. Working up towards that Blade of the Rune King. Genja going to be coming back, or already back in lane, with just that single Doran's Blade. Let's not forget, last time we saw him earlier today playing that Misfortune, he got first blood and then picked up 3 Doran's Blades.
Speaking of 3 Doran's Blades, we have 3 Doran's Rings on Kerp right now, because he really wants to have the extra sustain lane, I'm guessing, and then also get the extra harass on a Darien to push him out of lane to really punish him quite a bit. And I mean Karma has a built-in heal, so it kind of works out perfectly.
I see Creatine's lost half of his health there, just from that minion wave. Trying to keep it out of the turret, so that he doesn't lose any of that farm once his wave starts to push in their back. So he's going to freeze that one up completely. The other side, Genja did now go back home, and there's those 3 Doran's Blades.
Oh man, and I remember we talked to Groove about it, their manager, and he said, I don't know why he does that. He just because he likes to. That's about it. But I mean, extra sustain in lane, extra health, so you can't really be bursted down. It kind of helps in the end. But yeah, Creatin's very smart move by him just to freeze that wave at his turret, because then it forces Genja to kind of have nothing to do for a couple of seconds, and it kind of keeps his lane shoved in against him, so he can't even be ganked.
So RNA has headed towards the top side of the map, which against the Shen, Darian has got his flash available. Not the kind of champion at this point, now with that Giant's belt in there especially, that they're going to lock down so easily. That stunt coming out of Karma here will lock him down right underneath the turret, and RNA are realizing there, I think, that he's wasting a little bit of time up in that top lane.
Oh, Genja getting condemned down here, but not taking too much damage. And just remember, Kirk is playing on a trackball mouse, and he's still hitting this many skill shots for Karma. That isn't easy to do for anyone. But yeah, we do have RNA. He just gave up on top, going to be coming middle, and he knows Alex doesn't have flash up. And with the ultimate coming out for Realm Lord and RNA together, that should be a kill.
As Alex trying to do the wolves, but they weren't there. That was slightly strange. But the blue buff now finally going to be gifted over towards Realm Lord. Alex did get that one a little bit earlier, probably about a minute ago by now, as we did see on our screens. And here comes Diamond. They've put a pink ward into this bush, so they know there's no vision there from Alternate. He's level 6 and has the kick.
And Jerry's about to hit level 6 right now, and that's what they're waiting for. When he hits 6, they might go for a flash engage here, and with Arne around the side, they might be able to turn this around. However, Diamond is not spotted yet.
He's not going to be spotted here. Aranea is going to be quite far away from this one. There's the Q in there. Where's the kick back? Actually, the Condemn comes in at perfect timing. Hook comes down on towards Jerry. Ulti comes out there from Cobb. There's a bullet time, strips them all down. And look at that, Jerry going low. Darian getting in there. He's exhausted, so he's going to be hard-pressed to catch up with Creaton, but he's going to try here with this one. Is he going to be able to get into range with him? He's going to have to go into the turret. Creaton's turned around, condemns him against the wall. The Ignite is burning away here, but Creaton will survive.
And right now, Alex actually heading top against Kerp here. Actually, he's going to be able to do some good damage.
Yeah, good damage back, though, from Kerp in that one. And Alex realizing probably can't really take that fight there and has to retreat back underneath his tower. So, crazy action. This is what we expected from them. As you said, in week 2 in Moscow, when these two teams first met, it was an absolutely insanely action-packed game.
And it's showing to be the same thing as Genja getting taken low.
Yeah, Shockwave coming in. Not sure that Pharrell's quite got the damage, but he's sticking around here. That's dangerous from Genja. Maybe trying to bait something, but there's no one around him. There's no Stan United available, so it's just going to be a case of backing off there.
And Genja's just like, I'll show these catches why that 3 Doran's blades work, as he might have even died right there, but because of the extra health that he got from that. But just a great job by Gambit in terms of overall. I mean, you saw they used the global ultimate of Karthus, they used the Shen ultimate to get down to that bot lane, they picked up 2 kills. However, Fernlord was able to push up that middle lane, get that turret very low, and inevitably take it.
Yeah, perfect reactions. I mean, we saw Karthus move away to the top lane to go for Kerp. Shen was down the bottom. They were all down the bottom, and he had that. He was able to push that one down. So first turret of the game going over to Alternate. Let's not forget they had the first dragon of the game as well, which gives them a nice 1,600 gold lead currently. In terms of CS down in this bottom lane, Genja has got himself that lead back as Aranea going to come over. They're going to try again. And
Genja, he got the, I believe, yeah, he got the red buff off of Aranea from that last fight, so he's going to have that chase potential right now, which you see, you know, Aranea, he wants to stick around, he wants to potentially pick up a kill, maybe get that buff back, and it looks like he might go for it. Caught me off guard.
Half. Am I going? Am I not? No, I'm not. Okay, we'll stay here. But you can see the damage that he's putting down to Aranea there. He's at half HP just from coming in there. A couple of auto attacks coming out from Genja. He is not afraid right now. He's just going to wait here. Diamond coming in around the side of him. There's another big hit from the double up on towards Jerry. The hook not quite landing onto Creaton.
But we do have Dragon coming up in about 30 seconds. And with Aranea having to back right now because he needs to heal, it might be enough time to allow Gambit to actually pick that one up quickly, though they don't have the Shen ultimate just yet. Kerp does have his teleport available, so going for Dragon would be very dangerous.
Well, they know the timing on it because Diamond was obviously inside of that Dragon pit whilst it was smited from underneath his nose. He was trying to get that little steal in there at the end, and he is down there, but they've got no real vision from the front side of it. They could see someone coming down from that mid lane and actually will spot Aranea coming out of the jungle. So they know that Alternate are going to get themselves prepared for this. There's a pink ward, no Gambit wards around to be cleared. And it looks like Alternate are going to try and do it.
And this could be the first big major team fight. Darren, he's backing away to go buy up right now because he might want to ult into the middle of this fight. His ultimate's on a very short cooldown right now, 10 seconds. But Dragon, it's still being done by Alternate.
And Gambit are going to react to this one now. Dragon being pulled out there. It's down to half HP as it starts to reset. And Alternate with just 2 men there. Their bottom lane pretty much bullied out positionally. They're going to have to back away. Zaranea is charging up here. He's going to go in towards Diamond. That was a bit of, well, both missing their shots. Kirk going to be taking down that top tower, though, as a reply to it.
So that's 2-0 now in towers for Alternate. Gives him a little bit of extra gold and gives Kirk that possibility to just teleport out towards this Dragon if they want to go for it. But also, they're happy just kind of baiting Gambit into it, keeping Diamond down towards this bottom side of the map. And right now, Arne is in a good spot to kind of turn this gank around.
Well, he's just missed his Q, which is definitely not going to help him. Puts the ward down, will be able to escape, and there comes the Requiem, which is not going to do a massive amount on initial sight, but it's forced them away from that bottom turret at least, and crucially maybe, it's going to keep them a little bit low here if they get in towards that Dragon fight as a kick comes in on toward Lord. There is the teleport coming down. Shockwave completely missing there as Aranea. Is he going to go in or is he going to back away? Finally decides to go in, and there is a kill for Darian onto Lord. They're not done just yet. Crescendo comes over. That will stop Darian from chasing in, and well, that will be a 1-for-0, and Gambit gonna turn and burn for Dragon.
Yeah, very smart play of them. Great job by Diamond to stick around long enough, realizing, hey, I got Darian potentially able to come in. I have Alex here ready to fight, and they were able to stall them long enough, able to get that wall of pain off and the flash out of Alex to pretty much turn that around. But you saw Arne, you saw what his game plan was. He ulted Alex, he went straight for him, and he did a good chunk of damage by himself. If his team is there to follow up with that, I think Alex would have died.
Well, let's have a look down some of the items now, because Major one's starting to come in there. We see the Athene's Unholy Grail finished for Lord. On the other side, Rod of Ages is done for Alex's Karthus. Top laners, a triple Doran's Ring start that we saw from Karma has now got a needlessly large rod added in there. And on the other side, Shen, Sunfire Cape done, as is the Negatron Cloak. I
think Darian's going to go for a Spirit Visage, because once he has that, the cooldown reduction you get from that is just ridiculous when it comes to your ultimate. You can split push so much more, and you see right there, Kurt can't do any damage to him. Top it off with him being able to heal himself off his Q, and it really makes it so Kurt can't push him out of lane, so Kurt might have to just give up this top tower, or just at least keep it pushed away from his turret, which means he won't be in a lot of these fights, and Darian has the potential to do that with his ultimate.
Well, we just seen that Alex getting his second blue of this game. Doesn't have that tower there anymore, and his farm started to fall off a little bit. For Lord pushing ahead on that one. Got a 10 CS lead, which is definitely nothing major right now, but allowed him to get up to that Unholy Grail. And there is Voidal just around the corner here, hoping to land a hook through the wall.
And right now you're seeing, I want to see that landed at that bottom side of the map. And Jerry's actually keeping the wave pushed up against his own turret, and Gambit responded to that. Gambit's like, all right, if you're going to freeze that lane, we're just going to group up and push middle. And they have 5 members middle right now. They're going to be able to get this turret for free. Yeah, nothing that Gambit can do about that one. Out-positioned here. And you are going to see them pushing on top. Are they going to be able to lock up for Lord? Yes, they are going to be able to. There's a shockwave only onto Darian, and the bullet time comes through. Both of them very low. Diamond's in there to try and finish up the kills. He's going to get stunned, slowed up here as well. Flashes over. Can he land the Q? Yes, he can. Gets the double. Brilliant from Diamond. That has to be the worst feeling in the world if you are Ferelden right there. Seeing the Q hit you and like, yep, I'm dead. There's nothing I can do about this. And seeing him slow-mo kick into your face. But what an engage out of Gambit right there. A great taunt landing on the Ferelden and some good damage to come in behind that. Not to mention Genja's bullet time. That did a lot of damage. It was able to push them back, picking up 2 kills and a turret for free. And this is how Gambit win games. They just pretty much out-aggress you and start to get that finger, and they take your whole arm. Well, Alex going to take a lot of damage there. Finally gets away with the Lantern towards Voidal. But that's the second team fight bullet time that we've actually seen out of Genja. The first one was down in that bottom lane where they almost got 3 kills as well. Right. So they've been right now, up until this point, extremely crucial to how Gambit have gone on with this one. It looks like Darian going to try and push that turret, but with that pesky Sunfire Cape on, it's not easy. Yeah, and look at Genja right now. Since when do we ever see Genja involved in ganks like this? He's usually off farming by himself, and that is something that he's changed around from week number 8 to now week number 9. He's been a lot more aggressive. Instead of going off and farming by himself, he's with this team picking up kills, and honestly, if Gambit were able to win before he did that, with him doing it now is going to be scary. Yeah, and here they go. In towards Lord. Kick goes down. Taunt goes in. There is a Requiem coming out as well. Aranea going to use the ultimate and flash away from it, but he's not going to escape Diamond, who lands the Q, and that is 2 more kills on the board for Gambit. And right now, the downside of what Gambit's doing, they're letting Creates in free farm. But he's still behind in CS. Yeah, 17-minute Baron right now. And what's crucial between these 2 teams, both of them, or whoever got the first Baron in every single game of theirs, got the win.
Blue buff Karthus, easy to take down the Baron here, as we are going to see going very low. There is the finisher, and now they've managed to catch up Kerp, who is going to use that Zhonya's Hourglass, but it's not going to mean that he survives, just prolongs it, and Voidal will pick that one up. A 17-minute, 20-second Baron picked up by Gambit.
And we talked about it earlier on today when they're playing against Meteor Makers. Gambit does not pick up Baron unless they're intending to push, be aggressive on you, and pretty much close out that game. Out of the 11 games now without one taken, Gambit has 3 of those where Baron wasn't picked up. So right now, with Baron, with Alex being 0-0-7, having a 3-0-4 Lee Sin, a 3-0-4 Shen, a 1-0-6 Misfortune, they are just so far ahead.
The question is, what can Alternate do to stop this one right now? As you rightly pointed out, their game earlier against Meteor Makers, they just pushed without the need for a Baron, you know? They just really thought, they have it ingrained in their heads. Okay, we've got a lead, and we can use that. We can push. We're going to force them to team fight or force them to give up the towers, therefore. And that's what I expect out of Gambit right now. I think Alternate require a little bit more caution when it comes to that, because a big shockwave, for instance, that comes through and a Vayne that goes a little bit too long unchallenged could really turn things around.
Well, one thing I love about what they just did with those 2 kills, did you see any hesitation in the team to just take Baron?
No.
None at all. They're like, all right, call's happening, we're going to go for it. And that's what made Alternate so successful. But now, this turret's going to go down. The thing is, Alternate, they shouldn't be too worried about this Baron. I mean, yes, they're down 8-1. They're down 4,000 gold. The thing is, if Gambit has to dive into them, they're diving into a Sun who can crescendo you. They're diving into a Vi who can ult you. And not to mention, they have decent wave clear on top of that. So, if anything, Gambit are just going to be able to pick up these outer turrets, which still is a lot of gold.
So, down towards that bottom lane, they've already taken all those middle turrets. Obviously, up until the base. Not quite at that point just yet. Well, something tells me we're not too far away. All of Gambit are down there. All of Alternate are there. We'll see if they end up challenging for anything. Gambit being very ballsy here. They're just going to rush straight up the middle lane. They've got minions coming in as well. And this is exactly almost what they did against Meteor Makers earlier on in the day. They saw an opportunity, a positional advantage, and they seized the moment and just rushed straight in there for the objectives. Didn't quite work out as had planned that time. Alternate were fast enough to reply to it, but they might lose that bottom turret now as a result of that.
Exactly. I mean, they're in the position of the control of this game. They can just keep running between middle and bottom like that. Eventually, they will get a turret, but right now, they see Dragon up, and they want to take it.
Yeah, easy one here for Gambit. Nothing that Alternate can do about this one. Let's not forget, we are tied in turrets right now, but because of those middle turrets being down, they lose so much control over their jungle as well. We've just seen another blue buff being taken away there on towards Alex Hitch, which, you know, going to be massive for having that Requiem up more often.
I feel like he's had a blue buff this entire game. Ever since the first one, he's non-stop had one right now. And he's too scared to go up against him. He doesn't have a tier, so it's very good for him to keep that up. But just like you mentioned, like the Requiem cooldown is going to be so crucial because he'll have it up so much more often. He's actually approaching level 16 relatively soon. And the damage he has, it's not great. Like, it's not huge. But still, compared to the defensive items that Alternate doesn't have, it's going to do a lot of damage.
Double blasting one in there as well from Alex, which just tells you he wants that power now. He wants the 860 gold's worth of AP right now for this one. So we'll see where those two get put into in a little while here. And now Gambit moving up towards his top side. They want to try and catch them out. They're going to be able to catch J-Ree, who flashes away. Actually, the Q missed there somehow from Diamond at point blank range. And Alternate back off. They're going to surrender this turret.
And that's another free amount, or free gold that Gambit's going to get. Not to mention Darren is bottom lane, keeping Kerp held back while the rest of Gambit just pushed up. Kerp does have that teleport right now to get towards this top side, but Darren also has his ultimate.
Oh, there's Alex just getting caught up by the ball from Lord, but winding in towards that turret here. We see that Kerp has now started to back away from things, so he maybe wants to come over there. We are going to see Stan United coming in. They're going to go for the fight here. They've managed to catch 3 of them. Good crescendo from the backside. Kerp gets involved as well. J-Ree's going low. It's a bit of a messy one, but look at the poly time from the side. Requiem comes down as well. That's 3 down already here for Gambit. And Alternate have Lord here at the back, who gets hit with the Q. Shockwave will land onto Voidal and Darian, but they're far too healthy to even care about that now. And now they push in towards the turret. turret. Genji just live stealing off the golems there at the side, and there's going to be another inner turret.
And that was such a good disengage out of alternate. If you saw Jerry, he crescendoed Diamond and Darien. Then you saw Arne come in with his ultimate to keep them away from their entire team, which you saw Creatin. He pushed up into Alex, was able to pick him off, but it's just a little bit too late. They're just lacking a couple of items that would have turned that fight completely around. And Gambit, the aggression that's coming out of them, like coming in from the backside on Diamond with Darren ulting into him just to catch the entire team from the back was just, I don't remember the last time they've ever done something like that, except maybe earlier on today.
Well, that's the thing, right? If you have to use the crescendo like they just used it, it's not going well for you. If they have to use it that way to lock up the Shen and Lee Sin while you've still got Misfortune able to hammer away, Karthus able to do all that damage there, that's not how they're going to, I think, be winning these fights at this point. Those crescendos need to be on the target, so they're going to be stripping that damage away.
And you're definitely right, because what Alternate wants to do is they want to be the ones engaging. Because you have that ball delivery system, because you have a buy, because you have the crescendos, like a flash crescendo onto the defenseless people of Gambit can definitely open up a fight, but because they're 12-2 down, because they're behind so many dragons and 8,000 gold, they just don't have the potential to do that. So if anything, they just need to hold on a little bit longer, let Creatin farm up, let him become strong on Vayne, and then just let Ferelnor get a little bit more damage, then hopefully get the tanky items that you're going to need to survive.
So they just realized that there's a pink ward in that brush there as Ferelnor puts an auto attack down onto the ward that they had in there earlier, and then they realized why Alternate weren't coming anywhere near that brush where they were setting up the trap. They saw them the whole time.
And look at the ward control that we have for Gambit right now into the top side of the map for Alternate. It's everywhere. They have everything controlled, and Baron's up in 30 seconds, so this shows that Gambit, they want to either bait Alternate into a fight, or they just want to straight up take it. Alex, I don't believe, has blue buff right now, and his isn't respawning, I believe, anytime soon, but they can still take that very quickly, and Alternate, they're forced to pretty much face check anything past this first bush.
So I was talking about instant power from Mr. Alex Hitch, who has now bought a third Blasting Wand.
Well, that's, I mean,
triple Doran's rings,
triple Doran's blades, and triple blasting wands. Doran's blasting wands.
That's all good from Alex. Power now, I think, is the name of the game from this one. I mean, he's not got any kills yet, but he's got 10 assists out of 12 kills. So, you know, that just shows you that Requiem being really, really strong for the team so far. But what are they doing now? Baron is now back up and on the map. They've got good vision on the top side of the Alternate jungle. But will they risk a fight when they know that Alternate are, you know, full health, still hanging around, definitely a lot stronger than last time they fought?
I think they will. They just have to wait for Genji to group up with the team, because Alex was just about to hit level 16, did get it off the Wolves, and that means he's going to have rank 3 ultimate, which is going to be so deadly in these fights. And Gambit, with that Oracle, with Voidal, with this ward control, he's able to clear everything out, able to force Alternate to face check some stuff where Gambit could take advantage of that, catch him in their own jungle, and then just blow them up. And right now, Genji, he's headed up towards this top side of the map. He wants, or they're starting a group here. They want to make a push.
Well, that blue buff going to be taken away. Alex is coming around, but he's not going to get a chance to get it. Diamond is going to just take that one away from him. And all of the Wolves as well. So really clearing out, trying to completely starve Alternate from anything. You can see a 4 or 5-man team, the entire Alternate team here, just to secure that red buff for Creatin.
And look how both teams are spending their time. You know, Alternate, they're spending their time grouped up, clearing wards, taking a buff. But you look at Gambit, they're spending their time while Alternate's doing this, farming. And right now, the 3 men pushing this bottom lane.
Look at this. Darien is 1v1 in Jerry. He sees Creatin come out of the bush and he's like, nah, only kidding with you. Just trying to delay you a little bit while the rest of my team hammer away at this inner turret in the bottom lane. That's going to be the final turret outside of the base that's alive now. So, all in all, looking very good for Gambit.
And we always talk about that whole thing with Gambit where you give them a finger, they take your arm kind of thing. And they've shown it this game. Like, you gave them that little bit of an early advantage, and they've been just snowballing it. They've been keeping this aggression up, and Alternate, they don't really know where to go from here. They're starting to power up, though. I mean, they do have the Zonies for a while now on Curb. They almost have, or they do have the Death Cap now done on Ferelnor. And Creatin, he's getting relatively close to his Phantom Dancer, which are really key items to come in. And if Alex keeps building like this, he doesn't build up a major item, and he keeps it behind these blasting wands, that's a lot of damage they're missing out on.
Look at this, doing the Baron with only 1 man actually inside of the Baron pit. Alex Hitch And the rest of the team just sat up here on the backside as a ward comes through there. Actually, Voidal gonna follow through. This may be a little bit too aggressive for him. The box goes down, the bullet time comes in. Jerry stripped low, not gonna die. Ultimate comes in there, as we are gonna see the push back around. Genja now gonna switch around towards Aranea. There is a Requiem coming down. Jerry explodes. Kerp actually Zonya'd the entire damage from that one, as Aranea trying his best here to run away from Diamond. Not going to happen, my friend. That will put Diamond up to 5-0-6. Now Kerp's chasing down a Shen, which is never going to work out for him either. And that will be another 3 kills for the 1 on Gambit.
I think you need to give a lot of credit to Voidal right now in terms of Gambit, where...
Yeah, to be honest, I thought he'd gone a little bit too deep from that one, but... The fact is, Alternate were too scared there. They actually turned around where they could have killed him off instantly and then got away.
Yeah, and the thing is, we were talking earlier about, you know, getting the synergy between your bot lane, between your AD carry and support, and whether or not they'd be able to do it in 10, 15 days that they had to boot camp. But they've done it. Like, you see, if you look at it from him last week playing with the team till now, it looks like he actually understands what everyone's doing. They all are on the same page, and that's what makes you a great team and what Gambit needs to roll into these playoffs.
So Alex Itch, after his both first kill of the game and second death of the game, has finally switched his build route. He's gone away from the Blasting Wand build and has now added that needlessly large rod in there. So he's going to get up towards that Rabadon's fairly soon and start to do a lot more damage. So another Dragon here is going to go down for Gambit. Are they going to bother with another Baron at this point, or are they going to try and drive it home?
Well, the thing is, the last Baron they did get, they had 2 members of Alternate down, and there's all 5 collapsed on it. Right now, with what we were looking at, Meteor Maker, it was the EG game a little bit earlier on today, where the team Meteor Makers kept sitting around Baron constantly for no reason. They kept forcing the Baron when they had a goal lead, and from that, EG was able to catch back up and turn it around. And right now, I don't think Gambit are going to be on the same page. You saw how far ahead they were of Meteor Makers and how they didn't even go for Baron. I think they might do the same right now against Alternate.
Forellenlord just checking there. Diamond's position with the ball. Creighton runs away from Diamond as well. Hard to get away from those Lee Sins. Got that locket now built in onto his items as well. And Voidal continues to get rid of the walls. We're going to see Genja going back home. He's going to be picking up something else now with his 243 CS and that 3-0-10 scoreline. And it's going to be a Black Cleaver.
Yeah, very strong. It's that bolt time's going to stack those charges of the Black Cleaver on it. And then, of course, you're going to see Diamond, who 5-0-6 on Lee Sin, is going to do a hefty amount of damage. He's going to follow up, and you saw that last bullet time, how much damage it did. It took Jerry down to about 3rd health. It took Creatine down to about 1/3 health. And with this Black Cleaver, to take him even lower. And if you follow that up with any damage from Alex, they're going to be dead.
He still waits around here. Genja taking his time to get involved. He's going to get that red buff first of all before they push up back towards that Baron. Alternate, they realize that they can't leave too far away from this side of the jungle because Gambit will take that chance. We saw how decisive they were with that Baron call earlier.
One little interesting stat for Alternate is that they have never been able to take a Baron against Gambit. And that just shows like the aggression, the control that Gambit puts out. And I wonder if that might be a mental block for Alternate, realizing that it's very hard for us to take Baron. We know they're just kind of baiting it in right now. As you do see Voidal go in again.
Hook onto Forellenlord there. He's a good crescendo coming back. There's a shockwave coming down as well. And Voidal going to pay with his life from this one. Aranea gets involved. Creation's right on top of them as well, doing tons of damage. But will they be able to kill him from this one? Requiem's going to come down. Not sure he'll get the kills all around. There was the Command Protect coming in to keep Forellenlord alive. And Gambit back away. They lost that fight 2-for-1.
Joe, I think Alternate heard you. They're like, well, if Voidal goes in, why not just blow him up? They did it right there.
They did,
yeah, exactly. And right now, they're able to pick up 2 kills. All they do is lose 1, so it's a fight that they've been able to win, considering they haven't won one yet, now that I'm thinking about it. But now, they still have to protect Baron. They do have a ward on it right now, and they need to have an answer for the rest of Gambit. They were able to kill them, but they escaped with very low health.
Jerry Crescendo needs some credit to it as well there. We saw it really locking down Darian, stopping him getting the taunts in there that would have probably resulted in a lot more coming in. So really nicely done there by Jerry. And this time punishing Voidal for going in that little bit too far away from the rest of his team. More buffs going to be picked up here from Alternate. Creaton getting himself the red, and surprisingly enough, Gambit are back.
One thing that's still blowing my mind right now about Genja is, I mentioned earlier that he's finally roaming around with his team, and they're starting to make some fights happen, where previously he would just sit and farm. He has a huge CS lead over Creatine, and he's been roaming around with his team farming up, so it's like he's refined his gameplay a little bit, and he just has a huge gold lead, 12,000 gold to 8,600 total. That is crazy.
Yeah, massive lead here, which kind of expect with 6-3 in turrets, 4-0-10 on his score, and more CS, you know, plus the Baron and all those dragons that they've had in there as well. So certainly doing a fantastic job at this point. Diamond just been a real pain, to be honest. He's just been around that jungle this entire time, causing them to check every single brush. As we see Gambit have started off the Baron. Alternate don't know that just yet. It is a technically three-man, because Alexic is going to be using those layways from outside. There's a kick on towards RNA, as we are going to be seeing them getting that Baron here in just a second. There's a shockwave on towards Alexic. He's going to die before they can actually pick up Baron, but they will get the Baron, and they're going to move away.
Also able to get one kill onto a very high priority target. He's not going to have his ultimate up now for the next fight, but still 4 members of Gambit do survive with it, and that is going to be very dangerous. Second Baron of the game for Gambit, which is just crazy considering they have the lowest amount taken in summer split of European LCS at 10. That's actually going to take them up one behind Alternate, who's sitting at 7th with 13.
Yeah, and I think that's part of, you know, Gambit's how well they play in terms of when they have an advantage closing things out, that they don't take that many Barons because they feel that they can do it without most of the time, and that Baron might even be a risk to how far ahead that they are. This time, though, they've taken the last 2, but now they've got to defend against an Alternate who are suddenly feeling a little bit more comfortable.
Oh, and we might have him actually go in here, but RNA is very tanky right now. Even though he's 0-6, he still can take a lot of damage.
It's a 5v4 at the end of the day, and a Crescendo fighting somewhere like that would cause a lot of pain for Gambit. As we see Diamond just edging forward there, gets stopped in his tracks by Kerp. RNA here as well is stealing away the blue buff. That's going to be crucial again. We touched on it earlier with the Requiem.
Yeah, that's the first time that's actually been taken away from Gambit, where Alex, he pretty much had a perma blue buff for a majority of this game, so that's a great pickup. It's going to hurt him quite a bit. But now, with that Void stuff completed, he actually sold one of his blasting wands. Gambit are looking to push up this middle lane, and they have the opportunity to dive on the turrets. Like, they are tanky enough right now to go straight into this turret, tank it, and then just kill them in a straight fight.
So we saw there Darian not giving any cares about the damage coming his way there. He's got that Warmogs now added into the Spirit Visage and the Sunfire Cape. He literally doesn't really take that much damage.
You see the regen on him, like plus 26, plus 26 is crazy.
Incredibly tanky, getting loads of regen in there. Right now, Diamond going to push out this bottom lane. And Gambit are on the hunt once again here for more turrets. The only man not with Baron buff right now is Alexic.
And I wanted to alternate. Would they actually try to go for a fight here against Gambit to keep him off the turret? I mean, that's what they want to do. They want to be the one engaging. But against Gambit, with how tanky they are, with the gold that they have, I'm not sure it's a possibility.
Well, we do see a lantern thrown in there. Gift a couple of shields. And Gambit not quite able to push through here and get those hits on the tower that they were expecting. Crimson's gone down to the bottom lane to make sure that that one isn't going to be pushing up too far. Gambit going to take that one, but a 4-man shockwave comes in. Crescendo comes around as well. Alex going to die here already. Where is the Requiem coming down? He's going to wait till right in the very last second from this one. Actually, it was on cooldown. It was still on cooldown there until he actually... literally just as he went down. That was horrible timing, and he dies 1 for 1. I mean, the mid lane has gone down there, RNA in the jungle has gone down. Alternate are probably happy with that. I
think that's the true definition of a wombo combo right there, Joe. Just the 5-man shockwave followed up by a 5-man crescendo, followed up by Vi coming in with the put or stand aside on multiple people. But still, Gambit, I mean, yeah, they lost one. They're still getting a dragon out of this, so they still come out ahead.
I was really confused there for a second about Alex's ulti because it was so close to being off cooldown.
I thought it was up too.
That it was, I thought it was up. Obviously it wasn't, and well, just probably 2 or 3 seconds later, he would have been able to challenge that off. That fight could have been very different. In the meantime, another dragon picked up here for Gambit. You see there on the player cam, Darian just having a mid-game drink of water. Thirsty work, this one. He's just been... well,
taking all that damage is a lot of work, you know?
Yeah, well, that's true. He's going to come back in here with that Warden's mail in as well. So he's only getting tankier and tankier and tankier.
And it's funny because Kerp, he's 3-1-1, 264 CS. Pretty good throughout this game. Has no damage. And that's why you see him building straight armor. He does not care about the damage that Kerp can potentially put out. And honestly, it's you need some sort of AP, or they do have double AP, but they just still don't care. They're still just building armor, building health around it. And for Unlord, he does have Death Cap, Void Staff done. We do have Kerp picking up a Void Staff himself, so they're going to do a lot more, or significantly a lot more damage. And now the Baron has faded off a Gambit.
That Baron going to go down, and there's a blue buff for Diamond.
Genja for him. That's the second time he tried taking it.
He tried to take it, and Diamond's like, nope, gonna smite it. You are not having that blue buff. That is mine. You've got yourself a Guardian Angel. Stop whining. But he's gonna get that bit more farm down there at the bottom. Now 4-0-11, about to hit 300 CS. He's highest farm champion in the game right now. We've also got the locket, as I mentioned earlier, in there for Diamond for that extra bit of team survivability when it really comes down to the big fights again. Alternate
actually sent 5 people bottom because they wanted to potentially catch Genja. That was his old thing that he used to do. He would push up and you'd be able to kill him like that. But he's, like I said before, changed up his style. He backed away. And now it looks like they can group middle here as all of Alternate have to back out.
So a game where Gambit have a clear lead when you look at towers, when you look at gold, when you look down items, but not a clear lead if you've watched these last few team fights. They've not been clear-cut whatsoever. Yeah, there's been a 2-for-1 earlier on, then a 1-for-1 just now. My Alternate, they're not giving up at all, and if they keep landing these combos that they've been doing, they have easily that potential to get back in this game. Frontload's damage is going to just get so much stronger. And if they catch Genja, if they can get rid of that GA, that's a lot of damage gone. However, Alex is still going to be a problem for them. They don't have a way to keep him out of the middle of their team. And we see the last Whisper finished here as well for Creaton. He's going to need that, that's for sure, with all this armor stacking that's coming down. Rando and Zoman now has added in for Diamond as they finally just wedge themselves in onto the turret. Genja taking half of his HP there. That was just a one combo coming out of Karma, but he's able to bring that one back in. There's a 3-man shockwave coming down. Our Alternate going to follow it up. It looks like this is just going to be a deterrent for them. A lot of damage being thrown back, and Alternate happy with that one to hold on for this one for now. There was the Zhonya's actually being used by Kerp. Full HP, not sure what he was.
Didn't want to get hooked right there.
Yeah, the hook I think he thought was in his direction. Didn't quite have the range though, so.
And that was dangerous too, because if Gambit wanted to, they just could have taunted him and locked him down and killed him. But luckily, if his team backed him up, was able to push him away, and now Gambit clearing out the buffs yet again, clearing out the jungle. And also they're like, all right, we'll just 5-man push middle, and they should be able to get a free turret off of this.
Well, especially when they see Genja down in his bottom lane here, clearing out the creeps. It's going to leave them 4 versus 5 now. Are they going to be able to get anything from it, though? RNA going to tank up this turret. And with Creatine, who's doing very high amounts of damage at this point, they will be able to take that one. But here comes Voidal from the side. Not quite able to get a hook down from that one. And they're going to go back and forth.
Yeah, and also they're slowly clawing their way back in this game. I know the gold looks a little bit different in terms of how much of a lead Gambit has. But considering how out of control it was for Alternate 15 minutes ago, they've been doing a great job of kind of slowing the pace down and trying to control Gambit, or at least take a little bit of control back for themselves.
So Alex here just got himself that blue buff back finally. This Diamond is just going to pretty much taunt them down by the Baron pit, throwing out those sonic waves. Darren is there as well. And Gambit hold position, kind of clear out a few wards probably, and then back off, as has been tradition so far.
I don't believe Gambit's ever gotten more than 1 Baron in the summer split of LCS right now. And this is going to be potentially at number 3, which is just crazy considering where Gambit usually don't think they need it. But I guess they're trying to take this possibility of Alternate picking up, not to mention if they do want to go into the backline of Alternate, they're going to need the extra regen, the extra health, not to mention that little bit of extra damage.
Well, the second Baron Gambit didn't do a massive amount with. The first one certainly gave them that edge where they were able to take down all the turrets in the outer mountain, and not in the base. There's Diamond coming around the side, going to dodge RNA. A wall of pain going down. Is this the moment where Gambit go for it? They stood on top of the ball.
They could rush middle, take that inhibitor for free.
Yeah, they're going to go for this one as well. Creatine is pretty much the only one in the right position, but Alternate, are they going to go for the pincer attack?
And this is the ideal position for Gambit to be in because of Alex and his AoE.
For Elnor getting hooked in there for that one. There's a bullet time coming across. Crescendo comes out, but that's not going to be enough. Creatine now being chased down. Kurt will walk away on the top side of the map. Creatine going to take a lot of damage. Here comes a Requiem. Oh, Kurt just about survives. Creatine somehow survived it as well. And Gambit now, are they going to try and push through for this one? Of course not. They're going to go back for Baron.
And you saw Creatine right there. He actually stopped moving and stopped going back to base because he realized, oh, I'm dead. Yeah, but he survives just barely. And Gambit, you just saw the combo that happened. The Genja bullet time coming in with Alex flashing on top of the 3 members of Alternate, able to just do so much damage that they had nothing they could do to kind of counter that. Kerf has teleported in, though. He's going to try to stop them from doing this Baron.
Well, he's putting out decent amounts of damage now. Added a Void Staff into his backpack.
Void Staff, Voidal. Sorry. I was just thinking that because he hit Voidal.
Wow, Jason. Baron down to less than half health right now, and this is going to be Baron number 3 for Gambit, nothing that Alternate can do to get in there to steal that one away. Solid pickup here once again. That last fight for them, a lot more clear-cut than the last, and I think part of it has to be those shockwaves. In the earlier fights, we're hitting 3, sometimes 4 men in the team. That time around, didn't quite work that way.
Yeah, and it's all due to the positioning. Because you saw Alternate, like I tried to mention that, you know, Alexich with Karthus popping his Defile on, sitting in that choke point, means that no one from Alternate can kind of get back in the base. They have to kind of fight from that backside, and then as you're saying, they had to pincer them in. But because of that, you cannot get an amazing shockwave off, and they're able to take advantage of that. And now they're going to push this bottom lane. Middle inhibitors down. Superminions are going to be coming down that lane. And honestly, this is Gambit's game to lose. They can take this as slow as they want.
Slow and steady.
Isn't their style usually?
Wins are in. Not usually their style, but if it works here, there's a 3-man shockwave coming out once again, but more they're not going to be able to pick up from that one. Aranea takes a good chunk of damage going through. Genja actually going really low, which probably not going to worry him too much, because he'll be able to lifesteal a lot of that right back up. But Alex is also taking a bit of a dink from Karma there as well. But as you see, Genja is healing all that straight back up, and like 80 health back from each hit there. Plenty of lifesteal coming in. That turret down to half. Darien going to get right underneath it. He's tanky enough now to be tanking up a lot of the damage from both the champions and that turret coming in, and Gambit will wedge themselves in there. Pick up that second inhib turret of the game. The inhibitor itself going to be focused down, and that's going to go to Gambit as well.
And are they going to run away from this, or are they going to go for a fight here? I mean, they have a lot of money to spend. Genja's sitting on 2,800 gold right now. Again, they're going to keep these lanes pushed. It looks like they want to end it right now.
Wall of pain going into Aranea there. He's going to dash away. They've got super minions coming out. Gambit, nope. They're going to go tutorial style here. Go for that top inhib turret. That will fall. And there is Diamond going in. They managed to kick for Ellenlord away. He's a dead man. 4-man crescendo, but will that be enough to stop them? Wall of Pain gets entire team here as a Randuin's is popped. That's already 2 men down. Creatine gets hooked, flayed back, and Genja will annihilate him. Requiem not doing all that much from that one. Good game's going to be called here from this one. Gambit going to take down the Nexus and Alternate and go 4-0 against them here in the series. Fantastic performance.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is why Diamond Prox is so damn good on Lee Sin. That reaction to just go for it, go in.